If you want to hear and see more content like this, make sure you subscribe and follow. You're listening to the Jiu Jitsu Lou podcast, and I'm Lou Hemlett. I'm guessing you're having a good day because either you've been on the mats, considering getting on the mats, or maybe you're wanting to get good people competing. I'm so happy you're here listening or watching this episode. Please don't tap out before the end. When you grow up as a UFC fan and get inspired, start training jiu-jitsu. I'd like to welcome Jon Jarvis to my podcast. Hi, Jon. How are you doing?
Hey, Lou. I'm good. How are you doing?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Thank you for joining me all the way over from Kent in the UK. Tell me what rank you are, and we're gonna. You're in your new school and your new venue. Talk to me about that.
Yeah. So first of all, hi. As you said, I'm from Sittingbourne in Kent. I'm a first degree black belt. Been training for about 15 years. I'm the head coach, owner of Kent Grapple, which is based in Sittingbourne in Kent again. It says it in the name, but this is my new academy. I took over this joint last Monday, so it's been 7 days now.
Oh, wow.
We kitted it out really nicely. I personally think we got one of the best mat spaces in the south of England. So we got like 8 by 8 meters by 22 meters of zebra mats, and they are wonderful.
Fantastic. Well, when this episode goes out, you'll be very much more into your, 7 days of your new location. So I am already wishing you the greatest of luck because it does look like a fantastic space. Now, you're a first degree black belt, but you were originally inspired by UFC, which is the reason why you started training jiu-jitsu. Tell me about that.
100%. So yeah, I was a big, first of all, WWE fan. I still am, admittedly, but kind of in that transition of Brock Lesnar going from WWE, the fake wrestling, into the UFC. I followed his journey. I was always kind of aware of the UFC through, again, wrestling. Ken Shamrock, he was in WWE as well as UFC, so I was kind of into it, or I kind of knew of it, watched a bit of it already, but Brock kind of brought me over UFC 100, before UFC 100, but mainly UFC 100. And then the thing that got me doing jiu-jitsu was him against Shane Carwin back in UFC, I think it was 116 or something like that. He got beaten up in the first round, was gassed out, and then in the second round, he submitted Shane Carwin with a head and arm triangle. So I was like, man, if that sounds cool. If Brock Lesnar can do that, it kind of really inspired me. I was looking at that jiu-jitsu gyms locally to me already.
Yeah.
But then that was like the thing that was like, I'm going to go down. And I went to Combat Sports Academy down in Strood, like literally the Monday or Tuesday after. So yeah.
So hot off the press, you'd seen this head and arm triangle straight to a jiu-jitsu school. What was it about the head and arm triangle? Was it the technique or the finish?
Nothing really, to be fair. It's just that Brock Lesnar was doing head and arm triangles. So like, and he's a big, like scary man. So like him doing jiu-jitsu, I don't know if it was just that. I think I was on the cusp of it, and it was just like,
that was the turning point.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. And when you kind of have someone in society or in kind of popular culture that you respect and like, when they do something that kind of tips you over the edge to the point of a positive change in your own life, what were you doing before jiu-jitsu that made jiu-jitsu so special for you?
So not much really. I think I was 23, 24 years old, and I was just working on a help desk in an IT company down in Bromley, and I think I was going to the gym here and there maybe, but I was a lot bigger than even I am now, and I've been a lot smaller than I have now in that jiu-jitsu journey. So it really helped me in terms of kind of like my physical state, health, and stuff like that. And but as you said, kind of seeing people in popular in the popular media and stuff. People like Tom Hardy now. I think it's
Yeah.
great for our sport getting like these
Yes,
notable people
absolutely.
doing like
I spotted him at
jiu-jitsu.
one
It's
of the
amazing.
recent Enyo shows. I didn't ask for a selfie, but my internet's just gone out. Yeah, I saw Tom Hardy at the recent Enyo show. I didn't go over and ask for a selfie. Everyone else was.
They get it a
I
lot.
just thought, yeah, it's like, nah, not this time and space. You know, people need to have their own thing.
Yeah,
But it's nice to see notable individuals at events,
100%.
especially invitationals. Now, before we started recording, you mentioned about hosting an invitational way back, more than 10 years ago, with the amazing Rosie Sexton and Vanessa English. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so we hosted a Tough Invitational back. Yeah, it must have been over 10 years ago or so. I was a blue belt back then. So yeah, it was over 10 years ago, I think, or around 10 years ago. So basically, my old coach, Lee Johnston, great guy. He was very well known for doing MMA promotion in Kent, in casino rooms, just in east of London. And he just came to me and goes, "Look, I want to do a grappling show. Will you be my matchmaker?" And from I used to compete a lot, Lou. Like when I say compete a lot, I used to compete every
Yeah.
single weekend. So I
Wow.
literally I kind of knew a lot of the people, the scene back then, and it was kind of easy for me to kind of matchmake and reach out to
Yeah.
good people that were competing around the UK. We had a 32 square foot raised platform. It was in a leisure centre in Gillingham, the
Yeah.
Black Lion Leisure Centre, and it was big. Like if you can go back and look at the videos and photos, it was a real good spectacle. I think we were there
Nice.
before Polaris. There was a competition called Sub 15 up in Middlesbrough that were like just before us. I think they'd done a show before us or so, but
Yeah.
we would have one of the first invitationals in the UK, and especially we would have won like the big one in especially the southeast at the time. And as you
Fantastic.
said, Rosie Sexton and Vanessa English was our main event, and they tore
Oh,
it up.
wow.
It was a great match. So
Oh,
look at old school jiu-jitsu thing of Rosie Sexton, who's obviously in politics now, a doctor as well, against
wow.
Vanessa English, who's probably one of the like old school OGs, like real good competitors from the UK. Someone I think
Yeah.
most people look up to, not only girls. I say
Yeah.
young girls look up to, but most people look up
Yeah.
to is Vanessa English.
Yeah, absolutely. She's been on the show. We
Yeah, so
exchange DMs occasionally, reels here and there. And yeah, I think a lot of people do look up to Vanessa, as well as lots of other individuals. But I think the old school jiu-jitsu has a real charm, and it's wonderful that Vanessa and many others are still kind of rocking the gi and showing up and doing their amazing things. Now, you mentioned about competing a lot as a blue belt. What was that like? Why were you competing so frequently? I mean,
I don't know.
you mentioned working in the tech industry, and I worked in the tech industry. Well, I still do, and there's a lot of income, a lot of money potentially floating around if you're in the tech world. Certainly back in those days. But what was the driver for you as a blue belt to compete?
So started off as a white belt, to be fair. So I think I started competing like 2 months after I started training, and I was absolutely terrible. I remember the guy took my back and just spent the whole like 5 minutes on my back, and then from that point onwards, I was kind of hooked. I'm very much someone who just doesn't like to give up. So it's just like
Yeah,
if I get submitted, I best train harder, I
yeah,
best compete more, and keep chasing the wins, if you get what I mean.
yeah.
So that was just always a driver, and it was really good. I had a good set of friends. I'm still friends with that. We competed everywhere together, if you get what I mean.
Wow.
So we traveled everywhere together. We went to Scotland. We went to like Manchester, everywhere around the country.
Yeah.
We competed in New York, competed in the Pan Ams at Blue Belt.
Wow.
But yeah, it's just so like those memories you kind of like, they'll never leave me, if you get what I mean. Like I remember we done a big show at the NEC at ground control. I think the gold medals, if you look there, I think the gold medal is literally right there on the wall still. Like, and the British Open back when it was in 2011. Again, like these are cool memories, if you get what I mean. That that will never kind of leave us. So for me, it's getting better, learning more about yourself, and just like, they say that you learn more in one jiu-jitsu tournament than you do 3 months on the mat, and like, I do believe that, and that's not technique, in my opinion. That's not about technique. That's about attitude. That's about kind of understand the mental side of it, rather than just the technique. You ain't gonna learn 3 months of technique on the mats, but you're definitely gonna learn a lot about yourself, and how you compete and how your mindset is. Every time.
I think that's fantastic that you've shared that, because I think, you know, however much we train or the things that we learn, it's those testing moments on the mats, and it's about what we learn from ourselves, you know, how resilient we are, whether we get up and want to carry on. I remember my son, who's now 14, did his first competition when he was like 12, I think, maybe 11 or 12, and lost within seconds to a very accomplished opponent. And there were tears, there was upset, but within 5 minutes, he was like, I want to go back and do a competition again, Mum. And that for me was that was his learning in that moment. And I don't think any of us would know that we want to get up and go back and compete and fight again unless we'd done it the first time. What have been the biggest learning points from those blue or white belt days that have formed your kind of attitude, well-being, kind of thinking for life now?
Just don't give up. Just keep going. Like, just set your minds on something, and kind of don't let no be an answer. I know, like, when it comes to competition, you can't control that, because obviously you've got an opponent. But in any walk of life, it's my career. As I said, I work in IT. My career, I've always kind of like tried to kind of move to the next level and try to up my career, which, you know, that's really helped me. I don't know if that's directly related to jiu-jitsu, but, you know, it could be. It's the same kind of attitude I have with competition as well. It's like, you've got to keep working harder, keep going, and try and better yourself, try to accomplish more. And I'm not a guy who likes to kind of sit still, and I just want to try to fill up my life with as many kind of good, fun moments, and things I'd always remember all the time, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, I love that attitude. It resonates so much, and hopefully will resonate with anyone listening or watching to this show. You know, if that resonates and you're always striving for the next thing, and just that resilience, the getting up and keeping going, and just kind of improving yourself, is, you know, just what we're here to do. I mean, you know, we have one life.
Mm-hmm. Can I ask you a question quickly?
Yeah, sure.
So next Saturday would have already happened. But my son's competing next Saturday. He's 9 years old.
Wow.
He's a grey belt, but he hasn't competed before. He's never really wanted to say he's competing before.
Yeah.
What would your advice be as a parent of someone who's of a kid that's competing for the first time?
Okay, the first thing that comes to mind, this is completely uneducated. Well, I'm not uneducated, but you know what I mean, is breathing. Just making sure that you've got enough oxygen in the tank.
I mean, me as a parent, like,
oh,
advice for me as a parent.
For you.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. It's the same. Breathing, 2 breaths in through the nose and 1 out through the mouth.
Yeah.
You've just, you know, I guess it's thank you for kind of alleviating the pressure. For it's like, I don't know how to coach kids.
No, I mean, me as a parent, because like I don't, you know, I know jiu-jitsu, and I hope I'm a good dad, but like when you get in there and you're getting like nervous about my son competing, like what do you do? Like, it's hard, though.
For me, this is part of our lifestyle that I tend to play down or just allow things to happen in the moment without any reaction. So for me, I'm not a parent that cheers from the sidelines. I don't know how to coach, whatever. But if you're coaching him, then obviously
I will be coaching, yeah.
do what you need to do. But it's allowing your child to feel their emotions and allow whatever comes up for them to honor and echo it, whether it's anger, whether it's fear, whether it's happiness. Just mirror whatever they're doing, and that it's a safe space for them to feel whatever comes up. And if they are celebrating and overjoyed and happy, then share that moment with them. Just echo and hold back the tears. Hold back the tears if they're kind of.
I will be crying if he wins. I'll cry. I'll probably cry if he loses as well. But very different. He won a football match yesterday. He plays in goal and saved 2 penalties, and I was crying nearly. So.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And it's great that, you're putting your child in competition because it's all very well us having the bravery to do it, but allowing our kids to do what they need to do and, kind of progress through life and have those learning points. Some of us could very much hide our kids away and not put them into competition or, support them through their journey in lots of different ways. But we have to be brave as well. So, just echo whatever they're doing and reassure them that whatever's coming up is okay for them. This episode is sponsored by Kent Grapple Jiu Jitsu. Kent Grapple is a community built on discipline, respect, and the pursuit of excellence. They are based in Sittingbourne, Kent, and offer world-class Brazilian Jiu Jitsu instruction for all ages and skill levels. They offer an inclusive training environment with a full-time timetable, dedicated women's and kids' classes, and a strong sense of team spirit. Check out their website over on kentgrapple.com and join now to get your free 2-week trial. And also go and follow @KentGrapple over on Instagram. This is a Jiu-Jitsu Lou podcast with me, Lou Temlett, coming to you from the UK. Thank you for supporting this show so far. I really appreciate everyone that listens and watches, especially you. Onwards and upwards to the next 100. Keep checking out the clips that drop as soon as I've recorded an episode, usually way before each of the episodes gets officially released, over on YouTube and Instagram, if that all made sense to you. Today, I'm having a conversation with Jon Jarvis. Jon, thank you for sharing your journey. Now, what did purple, brown, and black belt look like throughout the rest of your jiu-jitsu career?
Yeah, so purple belt was carry on competing. So I competed through like a couple of invitationals and stuff like that. And then brown belt was about starting kind of, I'll say, the roads to this kind of behind me. I started my club, I think, about 8 years ago now. So roughly when I was around my brown belt, end of my brown belt, and it was just building out foundations. And it very much was like me and a couple of people who saw it on Facebook, advertising, just 8 of us just training in an old judo hall above an old church. We romanticize about that so much still. Like yesterday we were chatting about it, but that's kind of how it kind of started this. And then now we've grown to, I think, about 100 students or so.
Wow.
And in that time, and hopefully more and more in the future. Again, black belt, I think I've only competed at black belt once, and that was a sub-only show. Got the win, put the guy to sleep in 25 seconds.
Nice.
And you know what? Like after that, it's a bit like, does it get much better than that? Like the feeling of that day was like such a high. As me and a couple of friends, we traveled up to Coventry.
Yeah.
I put the guy to sleep in less than 20, 25 seconds. And how does it get better than that? So like the love for competing kind of come out of me a little bit, I guess. Okay. And it's more kind of like trying to get the students now to kind of now start to compete and start to really make us a force within within the south of England and Kent and stuff like that. So
yes. What would make you want to compete more? How can we help you, Jon?
I don't know. I've got the facility now for it. I've got really good students to kind of to help me train and stuff like that. I don't need to go anywhere else. I think I've got some good, really good black belts here training with me now. I've got some really good brown belts, purple belts, etc. Even really tough bloody purple belt and blue belts that are really good. Guys like Adam Lawrence, you'll probably see. I think will be the next one of the next up and coming guys in the UK. He's a blue belt under us here at Kent Grapple, and he's fantastic. So I think he'll be a big star in the future.
Good. Well, we haven't answered the question about how we can get you back on the mats.
I don't know. That's the thing. I really don't know. I don't know.
We'll have to put a challenge out there, Jon.
I think it's kind of like an invitational, a good match, which kind of gets my juices going, maybe, if you get what I mean.
So who would that be? Who would you want to fight against or be matched with?
I ain't gonna call no one out just in case they ruin me. They absolutely ruin me if I do compete against them. That would just be a clip waiting to happen. But someone my own height, my own weight, my own age, and stuff like that. I think would be good. Cool. Again, one of my training partners, Ben Johnston, he's just fought on Polaris. I was coaching on Polaris a couple of months back. He picked up a win, so it would be nice to fight on there. Not saying I will. That would be really cool. Yeah. Or any of the other local ones as well.
Yeah. So what are we looking for? What age and what weight are you out at the moment?
I'm 38 years old. Yep. I'd probably like to compete about for 85 kilos if I were to. So that's the aim.
Okay. Well, we can.
I used to compete at 70. By the way, I used to compete at 70 kilo when I was a white belt and blue belt. 70 kilos, 76 kilos.
Age does that to us.
Life, age, and alcohol have got the best of me. So
there's always a comeback, Jon. There's always a comeback. Oh, amazing. So, how are you helping your kind of teammates, the people that attend your school, become better competitors? What strategies have you got out there to help them?
So something me and my one of my other coaches here, Steve, we try to really talk about. We can train techniques, we can coach techniques, all the best techniques in the world. Yeah. But it's all about mindset. Competing is all about mindset. It's about going in there and to expect the unexpected, to kind of be first at every opportunity and have that never give up mentality. Yeah. And again, that's, as I said, you don't get that from just learning techniques. You can't do the perfect sweep. You can't do the perfect sub every single time. Sometimes you just got to get up, be scrappy, and just try to get the win. And that's something we really tried to work hard on here in especially the last 8 to 9 months or so.
Good.
It's just to get that competitive mindset into the club, and that for me is the key. Yeah. Because we could have someone here who knows all the techniques in the world and all the submissions in the world, and but if they haven't got that competitive attitude and that never say die attitude type thing, then they won't win their first match. If you don't think.
No, I like that. The words that echoed from what you've just said was "get scrappy." I'm going to take that because that's the element I've not got. I've got the resilience. I'm getting back up and going back out there, but I haven't got that get scrappy bit. That's what I'm going to work on. How can I work better on the getting scrappy, Jon?
So something I do a lot, and it's the new person that comes in, let them put you in deep water. Put that. It might be a bit. I don't know if it's different for other people or not. But I just we got a guy here who started recently, Chris. I let him take my back today, put me in a full choke and get out of it. Put me in a full choke and just get out of it. And get in deep water. Just get some shark tanks. Do something I always do when we was competing, especially competing for that super fight. was 1 minute on, 1 minute off with 2 different partners.
Yeah.
So that's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. You,
Yeah.
you feel good. You do 2-3 rounds and you're feeling all right, and then that's when the dark water comes, and and that's horrible. That's when you then need to just learn not to give up and just kind of get scrappy. Just figure out a way to win.
Okay.
I don't know if you ever have this, but I remember competing. It was as a black belt, and it happened to me quite a bit. I'm in bottom half guard, and the guy's smashing my face. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't want to be here, type thing. I don't want to. And then you're like, nope, I do. And yeah, just fight the head out of there, and get that kind of. Don't give up. Don't give up.
Yep.
Learn the rules of jiu-jitsu as well was another big thing as well. Learn the rules and learn how the rules can benefit you.
Yeah. I think I just need some more Shark Tanks, John. Don't tell my coach that. So. Don't tell my coach, please.
Yeah, Shark Tanks and don't let the ego get in the way, and just let the white belts work, like and get in deep water and try to get out of it. And then I'll try to do it against white belts, blue belts, soft, and it's not really much the purple belts and brown belts here, but like just let them work and then try to get out of deep water.
Yeah, nice. So I love all the strategy stuff, but the getting scrappy and Shark Tank experience, I think I need.
Yeah, it's horrible.
I'm just gonna, pray for myself at this point. Now I've said it out loud, because the universe has a way of giving you back what you really want.
Another thing which should be good for you, Lou, as well, is train at an MMA club. Like Nogi MMA club. I don't know how you are with cross training. I'm very much a very big advocate.
I'm all over the place. No one knows where I'm going to turn up next.
Nice. Go to an MMA club.
Yeah.
Because where I started at Combat Sports Academy very much was a MMA club.
Yeah.
And everyone there at the time was competing MMA. I went to fuss and compete in MMA, but they all competed MMA, and that was, it wasn't jiu-jitsu sometimes. It was just pure kind of like wrestling and and stuff like that. And that's what toughened me up.
Yeah.
And got me through the other side. So train at MMA club, do a no-gi session at an MMA club or something, and that will help.
Okay, my coach is an MMA superhero, so I'm actually talking to him on the next episode. So I will maybe dip my toe into the Thursday night MMA class rather than the no-gi and the gi on the other days. So maybe that's a challenge, because I heard one of the other women today going, I really love MMA. She did show me her bruise though, which was slightly concerning, but it sounds like you kind of get over those hurdles with bruises. Certainly the white belt grips under the arms, I don't any longer get those, so I've toughened up a bit. What has been your best experience for training jiu-jitsu so far, John?
I don't know. I've got so many. Competing, so it's not even just like particular self moments. I say kind of winning that match in 20-25 seconds, and putting a guy. It went a little bit viral on Instagram as well, which was quite nice. But that was like a really nice moment. One of the big ones as well, I got bronze at a British Open back in 2011. And it's a bronze, but it's probably my proudest medal. I've won 6 matches back then, and then lost the 7th, which was the semi-final. It was stacked back then. We didn't used to have competitions every week, if you get what I mean.
Yep.
So it was one every month, one every other month. So it wasn't diluted divisions. The white belt, featherweight, lightweight divisions used to be stacked back then, like 60 plus people.
Wow.
So yeah. So especially the British Open. I mean, so it's just like I've had lots of nice things happen to me in jiu-jitsu. A lot of like, good. And another thing outside of the mats, all the friends that I kind of made, the students I've got now, kind of, as I said to you before, my demographic of my club is quite older. I'd say we've got more 28 plus people, and that's boys and girls really built a good kind of girl group at the club now, which has been something I've been really kind of wanting for all these years, and then suddenly it burst this year. I think we had 7 girls. We had 7 girls on the mat this morning.
Nice.
And we had 11 guys. So the ratio there was really good. Like, I was really, really happy, really proud looking at that. But yeah, we go pub a lot. We go out. We do nights out by a lot. We go once a week. It's kind of like it's on our unofficial timetable now. But it's all about kind of like, you know, making connections, making friends, and stuff like that. And that's for me what jiu-jitsu is about.
I love that. And you were right in saying it's about the community. It's about the social aspect, especially when, you know, you're involved in a club and there are like-minded kind of people of your own age group. And I think that's really quite important. Whilst we can socialize with lots of different people, it's having that niche of kind of people that are of our same age-ish. I've just put together a little WhatsApp group, actually. I put a post on a story on my socials a couple of weeks ago saying, you know, I'm 50 in 2027. I'd love to get out to World Masters. Does anyone want to join me? I now have 10 women, all kind of 40, 50, 60-year-olds. And we'll get out to Vegas. Not sure how right now, but we've got less than 2 years now to prepare, but it's on the vision board. It's out there, and that's what we're working towards. I'm gonna get
one of my students to reach out to you, unless she might already be on there. But I think she's 50 now. She said to me today she wants to compete more, so I think that's a good aim. But when you say kind of age, things like I think it's a real nice story, especially for our club. We had a young kid come in end of last year, 18 years old.
Yeah.
Very kind of ADHD and autistic. I'm ADHD as well, so I'm allowed to say, very much like on the spectrum in some way. And I don't think ever kind of found his box of people to compete with. He's very outlandish. He's such a funny kid. And he's surrounded by older people now.
Yeah.
And I've seen the growth of him in the last 10 months as a person. And he's still as scatty as ever. He's still funny. He still says the wrong thing at the wrong time. But now, like, you've got the whole club that have like adopted him in a way. That is like, you know, he's our person to have to look after and stuff now. Nice. And he won a gold medal the other day at a competition. And I was saying to one of my other coaches, Steve, I said to him, that's probably like our greatest achievement as a coach, is like him getting that gold because of where he came from and kind of who he is and what he's becoming now. So that was really nice for us.
Nice. Well, congratulations to that young lad, and congratulations to you, because it really does echo the energy and the vibe and the culture around your club and what it's becoming. What is the vision for your club for the future, Jon?
So you probably know a guy called Oliver Lavelle. He posted something on Facebook last night, and he had 50 people competing at a Empire grappling competition. And I went, we've got to do that. That's the aim.
Yeah,
that's the aim. The aim is for me to have 50 people competing on one single day. That's the competitive aim. I don't care. You know, 50 people lose that day, fine. But I just want us all there to have that good day out, and for us all to kind of all enjoy that together. So that's the aim. That's my big aim.
Good.
I screenshotted it, and that's kind of what I want to do.
Do you know what? I really love that. And as a coach and someone that runs a jiu-jitsu school, to have the best interest of your, the people that are in your school at heart, and have a team of 50 of you all competing on the same day, you know, it just is really heartwarming and lovely to hear.
I mean, mad, yeah.
And of course, you know, we're going to find someone in your age category and your weight category so that you can be part of that 50, Jon.
Oh, thank you.
We'll sort it out somehow. You're not going to regret saying that on this episode.
Oh, no. We'll get there. We'll get there.
I
I have
love
no
it.
doubts.
I love it. So if anyone wants to connect with Jon, how can people follow your journey?
So they can follow me on either Jon Jarvis on Instagram or my club, Kent Grapple, on Instagram or Facebook, Meta, whatever you want to call it now, or www.kentgrapple.com for our timetable.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to seeing those mats filled with very, kind of scrappy competitors. Come on, we can do it.
So the aim is that wall there. We've me and Steve started putting our medals up. We've got some more to go up. So the aim is to have that whole wall there full of medals, full of team trophies and stuff like that.
Love it. And congratulations on your recent team trophy as well.
Yeah,
that's good.
You know what was amazing about that? We have 3 competitors in that competition.
Yeah.
And we came back with, I think it was 6 golds or something like that. No, 5 golds.
Yep.
And a couple and 2 silvers or something like that. So they won the team trophy between 3 people, which is crazy.
Incredible. Well, I just want to wish you and your whole team all the success, and good luck to your son. I'm hoping that you're able to hold it together, Jon, for the sake of your young child.
Thank you very much.
Love it. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you for telling your friends about this show. And as soon as this episode ends, I'd really appreciate you dropping the show a rating and a review. Thanks again for listening. Catch you on the next episode of the Jiu Jitsu Podcast.